Hey there, fellow Necesse viewers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Necesse, Episode 2, Setting Up a Settlement. So let's build the starter hut. I'm not going to be building like meta or anything like that. And also let's check out what this angler wants. So the angler will join us for 355 coins. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys pick whether or not I allow him to join. It's very easy to get new NPCs to join. I will preface. All I need to do is visit a neighboring village, and there'd be a bunch of different types of NPCs to join me. So just relying on the ones that visit me is not at all necessary. Should we recruit the angler? And his specialty is that he fishes. Or whatever it's worth. Oh, one other thing I wanted to do is to do a little bit of the island recon. But before I do that, I'm just going to get the forge going. So the forge allows you to smelt ores, and it takes a little bit of time. So I wanted to start that kind of ahead of time so that it would be done, or more of it would be done by the time I finish with a brief survey. Thing is, I don't have a lot of wood, so I'm going to need to cut down some wood first. Give you 2.5 minutes to vote on that. My 2 cents. Anglers are not all that particularly important. It depends on... I would say fish can be a reagent for advanced meals. And for some alchemy, but they're generally not super important. Alright, so the reason why I want to survey the map is when I am planning on building a settlement, I want to make sure that like I have plenty of room to expand around it. It's also nice to collect plants that are out here. So I'm grabbing the blueberry bushes here so that I can relocate them closer to the base. And sorry cow lovers, but like hunting the cow and sheep out here. So the reason for that is leather is dropped from cows, and that is used to recruit people and to craft some items. And then sheep drops wool, and wool is used to make bedding and some other things as well. There may also be like micro ruins out here, which will have treasure chests and the like. But I do find it's like very nice to relocate the berry bushes. And there might even be some apple trees as well. And the reason for that is the fruit that you get can be composted so that you can farm faster. So the berry bushes won't disappear once harvested. They're very, very easy to get a lot of fruit off of, in other words, and make for really good composting material if you want to ramp up your farming efforts. Oh, so here's one such micro ruin. Just a little tiny ruin with a chest. Oh, and it's a grand pitchfork. I'm going to switch to that over my boxing glove. So the spear type weapons only do damage with the tips of the weapon. So if enemies get too close to me, it won't do damage. I'll demonstrate that here. As you can see, it's only the end of it that hurts. But it's pretty useful. So you guys say, no angler. I don't... So, talking about villagers. The more... And this is similar to like RimWorld, if you're hopefully familiar with the RimWorld. The more villagers that you have, the more raiders you will get. So if you recruit a bunch of what I would otherwise like kind of useless villagers, you'll end up with raids that are kind of hard to deal with. Whereas if you recruit villagers that are useful and good in combat or whatever, the raids that you face will be easier to deal with as a result. Also, each villager will have its own morale, and managing villager morale is kind of important because the lower the villagers' morale, the less frequently they will work. They will take more breaks. And if you want to trade with said villager for resources, you will get worse trade price. So if you treat your villagers really, really well, they work harder, they work longer, and you will be able to trade with them for really good trade prices. So it's a bit too dark for me to really scout out the rest of the island. So I'm gonna call it quits and start building my little crafting cabin now. But I have relocated a whole bunch of the blueberry bushes. So now I'm headed back home. Oh, and there's blueberries literally right here in my own backyard. So another way to slow down enemy spawns is to set a campfire. Like this thing. I could put fuel in here. If I had fuel, I don't have any fuel right now. I could put fuel in there and tell it to continuously burn, and it will reduce spawns. So the settlement flag is nearby. It reduces spawns significantly. And then if I say keep running and put a spruce log in there, campfire nearby, out of combat health regen goes up, and mob spawns reduced. I generally speaking don't have problems with like the occasional zombie. They're pretty easy to deal with. But if you don't want spawns, you could, you know, just keep a campfire burning. I don't think it's necessary. Plus, you can just wall up your settlement. And walling up your settlement follows kind of the same rules as RimWorld, where if you have a completely walled off, raiders will bust holes in your base and like make a path in. So it's best to like lure them to a specific spot, whether that's a defensive spot or if that is a maze of traps or however else you want to deal with it. But there's a bunch of different ways that you can deal with that. So let's make a crafting room. And it looks like I have a really large open space just to the north of this starting shack. So I'm going to build in that direction. And to that end, I'm also going to relocate the settlement flag, because I want the settlement flag kind of in the middle, because the settlement flag reduces spawns nearby. So I don't want things to spawn, you know, where I'm building. It's also going to be really useful for me to illuminate the area. And let's see. I think the best way to do that is to get a carpenter's bench and then to make some braziers. So a carpenter's bench is like, or chalices, sorry, is like for furniture mostly. But these braziers, they're chunky, but they're luminous. Quite luminous. So now I can actually see what I'm doing. All right. What I'm going to do is plop a storage box in the center of my crafting room. It will not be a permanent edifice of my crafting room. So the way it works is certain crafting stations can draw from resources within a certain radius of it. It can kind of go up to a 9 radiused circle, but I'm only going to really build up to like 7 because 9 is probably bigger than I really need it to be, and I don't need to over-engineer things for a 4-hour stream. I'd rather build simple. So what I'm doing here is just clearing out a little bit of land around that central spot, and then I'll start laying down the walls and infrastructure around it. And I really like to initially set up a crafting room just because it makes life a lot easier when you can craft without having to run around finding reagents, and where all of your storage is nice and organized. The zombies here are spawning map fragments, which is a way to discover new villages and dungeons, if you were wondering. So here on the workstation, I am going to make 100 stone walls and 100 stone paths. And then I'll also set up, I'll go to the carpenter's bench and set up, where is it? Oh, no, I don't think it's at the carpenter's bench. The storage box. So I will build 7. Can you stop shooting me? I'm like building here. Probably easier to build during the day when you're not like regularly under attack. These zombies like don't hurt enough to really bother. Oh, and there's a hunter here. Archie the Hunter. He will join for 37 wool and 230 coins. Should we recruit the hunter? So, for reference, a hunter is the only NPC that can hunt, meaning killing the cows and sheep automatically. And whether or not we have a hunter is up to you. Oops. Luckily, fixes are easy. Just gotta pull out the pick and fix. So this is going to be sort of the crafting headquarters where all the items that we make are going to be crafted here. I ought to move the flag because the flag is going to block me in this spot. Luckily, it doesn't really matter if you remove the settlement flag over and over or not. I'll put it over there. Alright. Then, let's get some stone pathing, and I'm probably going to need more pathing than what I crafted. And this is why I wanted a whole bunch of stone. Now, you could, of course, make it out of wood, but you would be cutting trees down, like, all day long for the amount of wood needed to make this much flooring. It's like a 1-to-1 ratio, so it'd be kind of a obnoxious amount of wood to obtain. So if you guys do want me to get Mr. Hunter there, I am going to need to run around and kill some sheep because I definitely don't have the wool to fulfill his request. And typically, NPCs will request things in relation to their own profession. So for instance, guards might ask for health potions or battle potions to be able to join you. Hunters will ask for like wool or leather. You know, they ask for things that are somewhat related to their profession sometimes. It looks like you guys want me to recruit the hunter, so I am going to have to take a little break from what I'm currently working on to hunt sheep because I definitely don't have the wool. Now there's another way to get the wool, which is to visit a neighboring village and like kill their domesticated sheep because like neighboring villages don't really care what they do to, what you do to them other than you directly attacking them. So they're a little bit easy to exploit for resources, for better or for worse. So maybe we do that. But what I can do is I can exhaust the amount of sheep that I have here. Now, he's not going to be here for very long, so I'm going to have to hurry on this if I want the opportunity to recruit him. So here are some apple trees, and I'm going to chop them down so that I can get saplings and relocate them closer to the base so that we can do that. Let's go ahead and say, yes, we will get the hunter. Or try to, at least. Now, the island isn't enormous, so it's pretty easy to functionally kill all the critters on it. They will respawn. Animal husbandry is a thing that you can do when you recruit an animal keeper. They will tend to animals, shearing and milking and things like that. And you can also craft or buy ropes and lure animals to a fenced-in area and then put wheat in a trough to feed them, and they will breed that way. So you can either hunt animals or breed animals. Either one will work. Or both, if you want to do both. So I don't know how much wool that I have in my own crates, but I'm up to 17 in my inventory here. This is a good way to do a little bit more thorough of a search to make sure I didn't miss any fruit out here. Alright, I am 11 shy off of my goal. We're getting there. As you can see, the leather dashers that I have on, I'm really using quite a lot, sprinting around. So if you're ever wondering what can be made into what, the crafting guide, which is very much like the guide from Terraria, you can drop things in and it will show you. So like apple saplings can be turned into fertilizer, for instance, or grass seeds into fertilizer, or copper ore into copper bars. It's a little bit more important later on when you're like, hey, what can I make with leather? So here are all the things that I can make with leather. Or, you know, other advanced materials, because there's a lot of really awesome recipes that you can craft, and the crafting guide will lead you to it. Hey, Killadrix! You were playing some Project Zomboid today, right? Because I was, I may or may not have been lurking a little bit. Or at least you were when I was lurking. Thank you for the raid, man! Welcome! So for you raiders, I'm playing a little bit of Necesse, which is kind of like a top-down Terraria with like RimWorld or Dwarf Fortress-esque mechanics. And right now, I am actually, the priority above my head is a lie. I am working on trying to get wool to be able to recruit a hunter to my roster. And I have to kill these poor sheep with my pitchfork. It's also worth noting that I'm having some like internet problems right now. So if I buffer, I know about it. And I wish I could fix it, but I can't. Now, Project Zomboid's a really good time. I am eager for it to update whenever that is the case. Alright, I think the hunter left our island. But at least now I have like a oodles of wool. But I was not fast enough to recruit him, unfortunately. So let's get back to what I was working on. Oh, no, here he is. Hey, you. Will you join my settlement? Accept. So now that he has joined our settlement, he's going to want a bed. So I need 3 more wool to be able to make him a bed. And he is going to, I think he just ate that raw meat. Dude, nasty. He's also going to need a bunch of things as well. He's going to need access to food, access to a bed, ideally a bedroom. NPCs like to sleep in their own bedrooms rather than a shared barracks. And this all relates to morale, which can be seen here. So he is very unhappy. He's 10 out of 100 mood. That's pretty bad. And I will be working to fix that. So right now what I'm going to do is try to make the hunter happy. And then I am also going to raffle him off to you guys. Raffle timer's up, and good luck. So what I can do as a stopgap measure is to set him up with a bed inside of my crafting building. So instead of him having his own bedroom, he'll just like sleep in my crafting building. But it is also getting dark, and I am it's going to be a lot harder to hunt for wool in the dark. Come on, sheep, where be you? Yep, no, I'm 1 wool short. This might be a good opportunity to visit another village and, like, kill their sheep. So that I'm not on a wild goose chase. So what I'm doing here is I'm cutting down some trees for wood so that I can make a boat. So here's my boat. I guess it's also probably a good idea to dump my inventory. Oh, there's another way to travel to, I have travel scrolls, so I don't even really need to use a boat. I can show you how to use a boat, just for educational sake. But travel scrolls will also allow me to, like, teleport out to, points of interest. But I'll show the boat first. Can I trade with the hunter? I can. But he's going to want a bed, and I am going to try to fulfill that first. And yeah, it might be possible to buy the wool, but there's value in doing what I'm doing here. So I'm putting my boat in my mount slot, and F is the mount key. And I'm going to travel out to the nearest village to the west, which is Snow Village. Anytime you learn something about a biome, it will add it to your adventure journal. So, for instance, in the forest cave, I've interacted with 6 out of the 8 types of things found in a forest cave. On the surface, only 4/7. And now that I'm in the snow, you know, there's a whole new biome. That's a polar bear. They are non-hostile unless you try to kill them. I might pick a fight with him, though, because he can drop some good stuff. I don't really have the capacity to kill him, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to piss him off and then drag him to the NPCs in town and have the NPCs finish him off. Where'd he go? Yo, bear. Did you know what I had in store and you just booked it? Like, I wouldn't blame you. Okay, I don't know where he is. Let's go into town. So here's a guard. They're strong type of NPCs. He's going around whacking zombies left and right. Was he in the trees? Alright, that's fine. So now that I'm in the town, everything in town, like, can be exploited by you. And here, as you can see, if, like, I missed the opportunity to get a hunter, here's another hunter who doesn't yet want to join me because I haven't fulfilled his join requirements, but it's really easy to recruit other NPCs. So there's, like, a villager, stylist, animal keeper, another villager, angler, right? Like, towns are full of things. There's also a different underground biome. So this is a different type of rewards to be found down there, which I'm not going to do right now because that would be jump of the gun in terms of progress. I'm mostly here to steal their stuff shamelessly and kill their sheep if I can find their sheep. Apparently they don't have sheep, they just have cows. But yeah, as you can see, they absolutely do not care if I, like, murder all their animals. So... yoink. And technically, you could just take their furniture, take their... like, I could steal their beds or whatever. I'm not going to be doing that. But I'm going to steal whatever's not locked down in crates. Another useful thing to do here, if you want, is take their seeds. I don't really need Firemound seeds, but wheat seeds is kind of nice to have. I could come back with a shovel and even take their crop plots, too. And the raffle goes to Arcane Fennec. Nothing like having a hunter named after an animal. It's kind of weird. Yoink. I like how the villager's just like, hi! Are you helping yourself to my loot? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I am. Don't mind if I do. So here is buying and selling with NPCs. So here's like an alchemist. I can sell them Firemound, sunflowers, ice blossoms, and cave glow. And then I can buy potions. And all most of the NPCs will have their own types of buy and sell. So like some like villagers don't really have any unique anything, but the NPCs that have professions do. So let's go talk to the angler. Nope, that's not the angler. So here's the angler selling bait. And then we can sell him a bunch of specialty fish. Oh, and hello. Just what I needed. Alright, let's get back home and try to make that hunter happy. So the risk of not fulfilling his needs is if he's unhappy for long enough, he will just like full out abandon the settlement. You really have to be quite neglectful for that to happen, but it's worth noting, yes, it will happen if you don't make any effort to try to keep them happy. So at the moment, he is a whopping 10. Oh, and there's a traveling merchant here too. But it's going to be really easy to at least temporarily keep him happy. So, setting up a bed. Putting 4 doors on it. The directionality of the items that you drop are based upon the angle that you're currently facing when you put it down. So, you know, if you're facing east, west, north, south, that's what rotates items. It takes a little bit to like get adjusted to that system, but it's not bad once you're used to it. So I can either assign him to the bed or he'll self-assign. So here we go. I'm going to assign him to this bed. Done. And now he is very happy, 74, because it's a rather large room. The next thing I wanted to do is to let these chests that I have some food in, give him access to it. So the green lock means that it's not a settlement. It's like locked to the settlement. But then just like setting it up so it's normal priority and allows everything gives him access to the spot. The other thing I could do here is cook some food. So I just cooked all the meat that I got. I'm going to stick all the meat in this box here and then give him access to the box. So now with access to the box, he'll be able to eat. He's going up and eating. And then if I take a look at him, how are you feeling? He has an enormous sized room. He ate a simple meal. It's a tiny settlement. He has varied diet, and there's not a lot of furniture in his room, so that's dull. But he's more or less, he's happy enough. All right, back to the crafting room before I get too distracted. So now that we have the crafting room all nice and laid out like this, what I want to do is to set up boxes in there and to start organizing the loot so that it's not like one big mess. So I'm going to grab a bunch of storage boxes and make as many storage boxes as I can craft up. So I have 14 storage boxes. That will be a pretty good start. And then I'm going to grab all of my crafting things. So the workstation, the forge, the carpenter bench. I think I had an alchemy in here as well. Alchemy table. I'm going to bring all that stuff up top. I'm also going to have you guys decide what I work on next. So, working on next, I could continue settlement building. Probably building him a home so that he has like somewhere to live. Resource gathering, if you want me to gather specific resources. We have questing if you want me to work on like probably delivering the sand ray, which is not too sexy if I do say so myself. But choice is yours. All right, so we have some crafting stations here. I'm actually going to move these a little bit. And I'm going to go grab the campfire as well. And this isn't just a campfire. It also has a roasting station on it. So there's a campfire with a roasting station. There's a pot, like an iron pot that you can cook on. And then there's like an advanced cook that you get access to later. So let's start organizing our loot. Oops. This is not necessarily going to be the most densely laid out layout, but it's going to be good enough for me. So what I'll do here is in this storage box, we'll do clear the priorities, do top priority, and have it be for tools. And then we'll call this the toolbox. One of the advantages of that was when we mouse over it, it'll just say toolbox. Now, I don't want to have to do the sorting myself. So work priorities, I'm going to set Archie, our hunter, up to high top priority hauling so that they haul things in the boxes they belong. Then likewise, next box, top priority for weapons. And just going through ammo. And what will end up happening is Archie, or rather Arcane Fennec, which I haven't actually renamed it yet, and I should, will start then sorting everything, which is going to be really nice. So I'm going to skip over bait here and go to armor. And let's rename. So I'm going to tell them to follow me. Is there a max size to the room? Yes. Well, there's a max benefit size. All right. Rename Arcane Fennec. And now I'm just going to tell them to go back to sorting. So the max benefit is for room size is like 60, I think, for max mood. So we got armor. So like a 7x9 bedroom will make them really happy. Trinkets. I'm not going to put raw food in here yet. I think what I want is some of the boxes will be closer. Like, oops, that was backwards. I like to keep my, like, potions close to my alchemy and glass bottles and, you know, so that they're... some boxes are more sensible. So trinkets. This one will be for bait, cosmetics, and banners. And I'll call this other equipment. Because there's not going to be a lot of bait, cosmetics, and banners that I have. So they don't each need their own unique box. So all the equipment is now done. All the equipment I have has its own dedicated box. Food. I'm going to put all of the raw, common... Actually, I'm going to put this... let's not do that. Clear all. Let's put that next to the campfire over here. And this will be the food box. Now, this is not ideal, I will say. There is somewhat refrigeration that you get access to later. Food storage. But that's good enough for now. Back on to the sorting. Potions I want over here. Here I want... logs? Logs are going to be kind of in the middle near where the furnace is, and then this will be ores. So that ore and fuel are stored right next to the forge. Makes it very convenient. Minerals, bars, and the like. And this, it's a lot of work initially, but it will pay off for itself, especially when you have a larger settlement where you have a lot of resources coming in. Fish and flowers can probably go in the food box for now. Flowers also spoil, just like food does. So I'm keeping them a little separate. Drops, essences, books. So this will be a materials other materials box. I'll even do glass bottles and spoiled food here. All right. And we're really moving down the list now. So there were other consumables here. Boss items. And this will be like a other consumables box. And now I think all equipment, consumables, and materials are done. I think all tiles can be in the same box unless you collect a lot of tiles. Which I don't plan on it, so it's really easy to just lump them all together. Seeds should be a box of its own. Makes it really convenient. Oh, seeds and saplings. We'll just lump saplings in with seeds. They're basically just tree seeds. All right, next one. All of the rest of these sort of objects. So it's probably easiest if we just select all and then deselect. Now, as you can see, I have most of the boxes set up, and I'll just finish this. So as I won't actually need like the full wall storage. It's just a larger room so that if I need to expand storage, it's easy to expand. I'm not even going to consider recruiting this villager. Villagers don't have anything special about them. I don't need a non-special person. And once I finish, I'll resolve what you're pulling on, which looks like more settlement building. And I have a project in mind already. Oh, where'd my workstation? Oh, yeah, it's right here. Duh. Wiring and misc. So we'll put wiring and miscellaneous. Actually, there is a lot of miscellaneous, so I'm going to keep that separate. Wiring and vinyls. And then this one will be miscellaneous minus vinyls. You do collect a lot of vinyls. Except for let's see. Except for enchanting scrolls and maps. I'll keep those a little separate. This will be misc. And then this last box will be crafting guides, scrolls, maps, yeah, paper items. I'm going to call them scripts. All right. Then there's two other types of boxes I like to drop, or I like to set up, which are drop boxes, which are essentially boxes that are just a last priority of everything. So that when you have an inventory full of stuff, you can just dump them in these boxes and then your villagers will sort through them. So you don't have to do any of your own sorting. Now there is a quick way to sort. Once these boxes have seeded stuff in them, you can always hit this stack into nearby inventories and it will put, so for instance, if I put, I'll demonstrate this. So here's my bars box, right? If I put half of my gold bars in there and then hit this button, it puts the other half of the gold bars away where it found the first gold bars, which is really useful for when you already have stuff already sorted, but when you don't have anything sorted ahead of time, that doesn't help you at all. Thank you for tuning in to Necesse, which originally streamed live on Twitch July 9th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow viewers.